Come to the Wye Valley and Forest of Dean and step back in time. Man has inhabited the area since prehistory. Iron Age camps grew up around the rich mineral resources and the plentiful supply of timber. Iron was extracted from the surface of the land, leaving shallow, open cavities known as scowls, which help to shape the landscape today. At Puzzlewood near Clearwell, which is open to the public, you can walk through the wood and see fine examples of ancient scowls. Iron ore was also deep mined, and evidence of this can be seen at Clearwell Caves near Colford, a working mining museum. Large quantities of wood were charcoaled for smelting the iron ore. The traditional method of burning charcoal in a stack can still be seen at the Dean Heritage Centre at Sudeley twice a year. Timber was also valued for its shipbuilding and other construction uses, and this led to conflict between this demand and that for charcoal. Indeed, in 1802, Nelson visited to inspect the timber stock and was perturbed by its depletion, conveniently forgetting that the forest had supplied some 30,000 loads between 1761 and 1802. The Norman period saw the defining of the Royal Forest of Dean, where forest law prevailed to protect the vert, trees and other vegetation, and venison, that meant any beast within the forest. 4 verderers were appointed to assist in the upholding of forest law, and what came to be known as the Speech Court was housed at Speech House in the centre of the forest from around 1676. In Norman times, castles were built along the boundary: Goodrich, Monmouth and Chepstow. By contrast, Raglan Castle was not started until 1435, the last true medieval castle built in Great Britain. St Breville's Castle, overlooking the Wye, was built in 1130 and was the administrative centre for the Forest of Dean. On the banks of the River Wye stand the Cistercian Abbey of Tintern, one of the greatest monastic ruins of Wales. Founded in 1131, it was added to and updated until its dissolution by Henry VIII in 1536. It remains today a romantic ruin. Mining has always played a major role in the area. Free miners, said to have existed since time out of mind, were entitled to mine an area or a gale if they had been born within the 100 of St Breville's and had worked at least a year and a day in a coal or an iron ore mine within the 100. The seams of coal and deposits of iron ore are now largely depleted, but there are still some free miners working in the area, extracting coal on a part-time basis. Back down to the Wye again, and we come to the bustling border town of Monmouth, dating back to Roman times and built on the confluence of the Monnow and Wye rivers. Its 13th century gated bridge, unique in Britain for its design and state of preservation, stands guard at the bottom of Monnow Street. Admiral Horatio Nelson paid 2 visits to the town, and the Nelson Museum is home to one of the largest collections of Nelson material, bequeathed by Lady Llangattock, mother of Charles Rolls of Rolls-Royce fame. Travelling up the River Wye, we reach the town of Ross-on-Wye, said to be the home of modern tourism. In 1782, the Reverend William Gilpin, fueled by the cult of picturesque, published his Observations on the River Wye, arguably the first tour guide, and promoted a trip down the river as being an indispensable requirement for a man of taste. Wordsworth, Coleridge, Thackeray, Pope and Turner all partook of the Wye tour, as it came to be known. Wordsworth famously wrote his poem Tintern Abbey while sitting on the wooded banks above the Wye. An exploration of the Wye and the Dean would not be complete without mention of the railway network, which used to run through the area to facilitate the carrying of passengers and also coal and stone. Sadly, the railways have now gone, but in many places it's possible to stroll along their routes. An exception is the Dean Forest Railway, preserved by a local group of enthusiasts who run frequent steam trips between Lydney and Park End. That's just a part of the heritage of the area. We've only been able to scrape the surface, but we hope that it's given you a taster and that you'll come and discover for yourself.